Boys and girls, what's going on? We're back for another UFC Fight Night. We got UFC Fight Night Marcin Tybura versus Sergey Spivac. Number 2. First one, Marcin Tybura was able to win a decision over Sergey Spivac. It's not really a good card, but we're just going to go through it real quick, give you some predictions and some breakdowns. Going to give you a parlay at the end to follow along with. If you guys enjoy it, drop a like, drop a sub. I do these every week, and let's just get right into it, because I just woke up. I got to get this done. It is 10:30. You guys can imagine how close I'm cutting this. All right, first on the card, we have Stephanie Luciano versus Talita Alencar, number 2. I'm going with Stephanie Luciano. Talita just fought Rayani Dos Santos, or Rayani Amanda Dos Santos, whatever her name is. I believe Rayani won that fight 29-28. They gave it to Alencar. I'm not too sure why. It was a split decision. Rayani also had a split decision over Pooja Tomar. I also thought she won that fight. I think she's just getting fucked over a little bit with the judges. I think Talita didn't really show that much improvement in the Rayani fight after the fight with Luciano, and Stephanie hasn't fought since that fight with Talita. So I'm going to give Stephanie the edge because she was able to figure out the grappling in the later stages of the fight. At about 1.5 rounds into the fight, Stephanie Luciano was able to figure out the takedowns of Talita Alencar, especially because Talita was getting tired, and she was able to start pushing her off and start being able to tee her up, because Stephanie is years above Talita on the feet, and Talita is just only going to be looking for a takedown. If Stephanie is able to keep her off and able to keep the takedown defense on par, and she's able to keep it for 3 rounds, she will end up knocking out Talita. I believe Talita will end up winning a round, so if you guys want to play the plus 3.5 on Talita Alencar as an underdog, I would take it, because it's like a minus 170, and it's pretty locked up. But if you don't want to touch it, touch the over 2.5. It's most likely a lock, but it is possible for Stephanie to knock out Talita. It's not out of the realm of possibility, for sure. Next on the prelims, we have Jarno Aarons versus Youssef Zalal. Youssef Zalal most likely will get a decision victory over Jarno Aarons. Jarno isn't bad. He just isn't, the same level that Youssef is. The win over Billy Quarantello, I mean, that's very impressive for Youssef. And Jarno Aarons just kind of looks like he hasn't really changed anything. He has decent mix-up ability, but when it comes to stand-up, I just don't think he's on the same level as Youssef. I think he's going to end up eating the worst end of these exchanges, and I think he's just going to get outpointed, and I think he's going to probably lose by a decision. A finish is live here. Jarno Aarons is very durable. He doesn't really get finished. He is an incredibly durable fighter, coming out of the Netherlands, I believe, or Holland, wherever. Yeah, I'm going to go Youssef Zalal. I just, the line is minus 450, so you probably don't want to touch it. If the over-under is 1.5, I'd take the over. And if the over-under is 2.5, I'd be leaning towards the over, just because I think Jarno Aarons is quite good at being able to keep his own. It is possible he does get to a decision as well, winning a round or maybe 2. Possibly winning on the scorecards, but I just don't see it. I think Youssef has just shown a lot more improvement. I think his second stint in the UFC, being that he had a 3-loss streak before, I think it shows that he's improved his skill. I think he's fighting the same level of competition he was kicked out of the UFC for, and I think getting a finish over him, over Billy especially, is quite impressive. So I'm going to go Youssef Zalal, and most likely the over in that fight. We have next on the prelims, Carl Williams versus Johanta Denis. I'm going Carl Williams by decision. Carl Williams tends to have this ability to wrestle fuck a lot of really good strikers into the ground. He's able to dominate on ground position and keep them sitting there. Throwing minimal shots and being able to just kind of change position every once in a while. Johanta Denis. I don't know what it is. I think it's Johanta. I'm realizing that's his name. Johanta. He's a very good kickboxer. Very good kickboxer. Decorated. I'm not sure the place that he fought in, but I know he fought professional kickboxing. Oh, he fought Glory. There you go. So he's a Glory kickboxer. Glory kickboxers, you'll tend to see they have better second rounds than firsts. You'll tend to see they start figuring out their range and stuff in the second round and start looking for a knockout because they start fucking freaking out. usually because they lose the first round, like Cesar Almeida's prime of it, Alex Pereira's prime of it. Shalnada most likely will lose the first round versus Carl Williams. He is live for a knockout because he does have fucking hands from hell. But Carl Williams, man, I feel like he's able to take the shot and able to keep him down. I feel like he's gonna wear on Shalnada. I feel like the fact that there's no ground game on the side of the kickboxer, I feel like Carl Williams will literally just impose whatever fucking game plan he has decided. Justin Tafa was a recipient of that, and I believe it will be similar. He will probably lay and prey on him for 3 rounds, and that will be it. I mean, Austin Lane's KO. Austin Lane is shit. I don't even consider that a win. I would put this fight closer to a coin flip than Carl Williams at a -200. But I'm going to be taking the side of Carl Williams because I believe it is safer than Shalnada, and I believe that he's going to be able to out-decision him just with the fact that he's... you have to understand, kickboxers coming from glory, that's all they know, right? They start learning the wrestling. Carl's known the wrestling for a long time, and he's decent on the striking to where I believe he'll be able to be, like, close at least with Shalnada. At least, no, not the same kickboxing, but at least be able to hold his own. Next on the prelims, we have Carl Rosa versus Penny Kinzad. I think that's her name. Or I don't really give a fuck. It doesn't matter what the Swedish girl's name is. I'm going Carl Rosa by decision. She will win this fight. She has only lost to top-tier contenders. Penny has also lost to some decent girls. Macy Chasson, Raquel Pennington, the strawweight champ of the world, or bantamweight, whatever she is. I'm gonna go Carl Rosa just because she's half decent on the feet. She has good mix-up abilities. Both girls look kind of similar, a little bit on the feet, but I think Carl has a little bit more. She's a little bit more skilled in her striking. She kind of puts her hips into it a little bit more. She seems to be a little bit more ahead of Penny. And Penny's probably on her way out of the UFC at this point. So I'm going to go Carl Rosa. Irene Aldana, Norma Dumont, Sarah McMahon. She's fought some tough girls, and I think she's going to be able to figure this one out very easily. And I think she's just going to have an easy victory, and they're going to give her someone half decent next in the top 5 of bantamweight. Next, we have Shara Lampos Gregoru versus Toshomi Kazama, right? Oh, Toshiomi. Oh, my God. Toshiomi Kazama. I'm so sorry. I'm butchering these names. I know. I'm going Charalampos by knockout. Kazama he seems to eat these fucking right hands really well. And get dropped all the time. So I'm gonna go Shara to get a knockout just because of the fact that Toshi, the Garrett Armfield KO is what makes me really worried. It's Garrett Armfield. Like, this isn't a world beater. This is Garrett Armfield. He's decent, but he's like, to get a knockout in the first round, I think is fucking insane. I like Garrett too. I really do. I'm gonna go Shara by knockout. Shara is a finisher. Does get a lot of knockouts. He has very decent mix-ups. His hands are a lot more impressive than his legs. I think he's gonna be able to get a left hook on Kazama whenever he's dipping in. He just has this very similar striking. Toshi hasn't fixed it at all. He just dips his head a lot. He gets caught a lot. He on extended combinations, Toshi is found with his head hanging and he gets tagged. It's gonna happen. He's probably gonna get knocked out. I would go under 1.5 for this fight. I believe it's plus money. I mean, you don't have to go. Maybe Toshi gets to a decision. Maybe he's back and better than ever. I just don't believe it. It's been a year. He took 6 months off the KO before that. I think he's probably rattled. I think his brain's probably not fully healed, and I think Shara's gonna get a knockout. That's all I got for you for the prelims. It's only 5 fights. We did have some cancellations. Rafael Filo and Alan Nascimento was supposed to fight. Got canceled. Chris Gutierrez was supposed to fight. Yavid Bashara. It did not happen. Johnny Parsons was supposed to fight. I believe that fight got moved ahead. We're just going to start with this main card right now. It's half decent, but it's really one-sided. We got Yana Santos versus Chelsea Chandler. I'm going Chelsea Chandler. Chandler missed weight by 5 pounds. They're letting her fight, I believe. She weighed in at 141 when the weigh-in is 135. Or 136, excuse me. That's a big weight miss. It's a big weight miss, and it should be a little bit worrisome for some people. Yana Santos, 3 losses in a row. 1 loss to Holly Holm in there. Holly Holm's old as shit, so that's really bad. Chelsea Chandler's half good. Josane Nunez, or Josie, I don't know what her fuck. Doesn't matter, I don't care about the names right now. She beat a fucking knockout puncher to a decision. Was able to just kind of sit on her. Julia Stolyarenko, I still can't pronounce names. She knocked her out, and she's half decent. I believe Julia is 11-9 at this point. She is a half decent stand-up artist. So I'm gonna go Chandler sitting out as an underdog. You have to pick the underdog in this scenario, specifically because both girls are incredibly similar. Santos is on a 3-fight losing streak, and Chandler missed weight by 5 pounds. That is evident of a bad weight cut. That is also evident of a girl who will be weight bullying. So, as much as she might get tired early in the fight, she might just beat the fuck out of Yana Santos, really. So, you got to take it or leave it. Over 2.5, of course, most likely is a lock for this fight. These girls do not go to finishes very often, and both these girls probably... Oh, fuck. It'll be I'll be doing exactly that. I'll be yawning, and I'll be watching a lay and pray for that fight. But I'm going to go Chelsea Chandler as an underdog. Over 2.5 should be a lock for you guys if you're on the betting side. Also, Chelsea Chandler is just... She just seems to have a little bit more power in her strikes. Yana just seems to kind of give up half the time. So, it's kind of the reason why. Next, we have Chris Gutierrez versus Kwang Lee. We're going Chris Gutierrez by leg kicks. Kwang Lee... Very, very prone. He's very open to leg kicks. He leaves his lead leg out. Doesn't really switch stance too often. As long as I'm thinking about the same fucking guy, he doesn't really switch stance too often. Chris Gutierrez is gonna come in there. He's gonna leg kick the shit out of him. Might be able to knock him out. I think Chris is gonna be able to get it done easily. He is a -600. Kwang is on short notice. He is in his first UFC fight. Seeing as he's coming from LFA, this is a very tough first fight. Basically a top 15 in the world. If he wins, I mean, he gets skyrocketed to top 15. If he doesn't win, you know, no one really remembers this guy anyway. But I'm going Chris Gutierrez by knockout. He hasn't had a knockout in a long time. Let's get one tonight. I just believe that he's going to be able to get it done, especially with a guy that Kwang Lee has been in camp, but he's just not on the same skill level as Chris, and Chris is going to be able to fucking hit him with some nasty shots, I think. Being that Chris has decent striking. He is basically only a striker as well. Danny Barlow, left hand to God. Danny Barlow versus Nikolai Veretennikov. Jesus fucking Christ, bro. What are these names for real? Is this Raheem? Yeah. Didn't Raheem just get... Yeah. Okay. We're going Danny Barlow by knockout, first round. Nikolai is half good. He hasn't fought anyone in the UFC yet. He did lose to Michael Morales in Contender Series. Did forget about that. Like, he is in a good camp. He is in the States. He's training. But I think Danny Barlow is going to knock this dude the fuck out. Danny Barlow has power that I haven't seen in a long time. He's at welterweight. He has missed weight by a quarter pound, which is fine. But, like... Dude, Danny Barlow is fucking scary. I don't think there's much to talk about for this fight. Nikolai, even if he goes for a takedown or something, he's not going to get it. Danny's going to be able to push him off. I think Danny's half decent in takedown defense. Nikolai better be careful, bro, because you're going to be swinging. Both these guys are going to be swinging. Both these guys need to be careful, because usually what you'll see, right, you have a lot of knockouts for Danny, you have a lot of knockouts for Nikolai. Usually these guys go into a decision. Usually that's MMA math. When you have two really big strikers, they tend to respect each other's power or eat each other's power. And when they get hit, it's almost like they slow down. And then they hit back. And then they both kind of stand still, right? And they both go stalemate. Danny Barlow is going to walk down Nikolai. He's going to walk him down. And Nikolai is going to do the same for the first minute. And he's going to fade, probably. That's my guess. Danny's going to knock him out with a left hook, and I think it's going to be early. I think it's going to be first round. I think if you guys want to take a nice little piece of action, I would take Danny Barlow first round plus 230. If you want to take another little piece of action, Danny Barlow by KO is plus 110. Danny Barlow by decision is plus 180. Now, that's where you should be sketched out, because this fight's sitting at over under 2.5 or 1.5, I think. I would be fucking worried about that. If it's at 2.5, they know this fight's going to a decision because both guys are just gonna be scared of each other's power. I'm telling you, Danny's not going to be scared. Nicolay's going to be scared of his power. He's probably going to throw for the first couple minutes. Danny's going to walk this dude down. Danny literally doesn't give a fuck. I thought Josh Quinlan was going to beat Danny. Josh Quinlan tried his hardest. He stayed up there. He was beat up. He was pissing blood. And Danny's like, fuck you, I'm coming down. I don't care. And he just slowly wilted the poor dude. He didn't even give a fuck. It's not like he rushed. It's not like he fucking pushed off, fucking slammed some shots, you know, he fucking threw a left hook, pushed off. No. It was calculated shots, and he just wilted him down. So I'm going to go Danny Barlow. If Danny Barlow loses today, it's a fucking sham, okay? Danny Barlow's winning, and that's a lock. Shep Marthal versus Damon the Leech Jackson. We're going machine gun, bro. Shep is going to get a knockout. Damon is not that good. Damon got a good win over Alexander Hernandez. Fuck that. I don't care. He should have lost 3 in a row. Dan Ige took his ass out. Billy took his ass out. Dan Ige dropped him like 3 times in that fight. Shep has hands, bro. He's going to drop Damon at least once. And if you don't think Shep's going to drop him and at least fuck up his equilibrium and can put him completely off balance, you're wrong. Shep has fucking incredible power. I think he's going to get at least 1 knockdown against Damon Jackson. I think he's going to knock him out. Shep has been talking about this for weeks. He's been talking about how he's more calculated. He wants a finish. He thinks Damon's the guy to get it done over. Now, Shep missed weight by 3.5 pounds. He missed weight. He didn't look too good on the scales. He didn't. He didn't look too good. Over/under sitting at 2.5. That under's looking a little nice. Under 2.5 is plus 110. Just saying. Plus 110. Do the under with Shep. There's plus 110. Danny Barlow. KO. Plus 110. Chris Gutierrez. Just to win. Nice little piece. You put fucking Charlem Plus on that. You got a parlay already. Alright? You put Carl Williams on that. Or over 2.5 rounds. You guys got a parlay already. Alright? If you guys want a nice little early parlay, you go Carl Williams. You go Stephanie Luciano. Or over 2.5 in that fight if you don't like it. And Charlotte, bro. Go Charlotte by knockout or just Charlotte. There you go. Easy. Next, we have the main event of the evening. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like, drop a sub. I'm going to do a recap. I did not do a recap for last week's breakdown. What was it? It was Corey Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov. I just missed it. I completely forgot. I'm sorry, guys. I will end up doing that at some point, probably this week. I completely forgot about it. But we do have Marcin Tybura versus Sergey Spivac. I'm going Marcin Tybura. Marcin Tybura won the first fight. He's probably going to win the second fight. Sergey Spivac is a one-trick pony on the ground. Like, you have to pick Marcin just because he's won the first fight. And majority of the time, 70% of the time, the person who won the first fight wins the second fight. It's how it is. Alonzo Menafield, Jimmy Crute, kind of the same thing. I'm going Tybura, and I think it's a more safe pick than Sergey. Sergey is like very vulnerable to shots. I mean, being able to submit Derek Lewis is huge, but Marcin's not Derek Lewis. He's not literally a one-trick pony in the striking. He will be able to get away from the takedown defense. He will be able to get you on the ground as well, or be able to sweep. Like, he's not going to accept position on the ground. Tybura will not accept ground position. He will move. He will scramble. He will look for a way up. And Sergey, I don't think, is going to deal well with that. We're going to go Marcin Tybura. I like under 3.5 rounds, if that's what you guys want to touch. You know, it's kind of hard for me to see this going 5 rounds, seeing as they're both heavyweights. But it does happen sometimes in heavyweight fights. It's just, if you guys pick it right, some good odds. Marcin Tybura being an underdog, I think it's just value. It's a huge value. I don't know why you wouldn't pick him. Sergey, sure, he is 16-14. He's got 20 fights versus Marcin's 33. Okay. It's just experience, man. You gotta understand the experience and the fact that he literally has the same game that Sergey has, but evolved into striking as well. So most likely he will win that fight. But for a main event prelim or main event parlay, if you guys want to do a little one, Tybura, Shep, Danny Barlow. There you go. If you guys want to do over unders, you do under 2.5 Danny Barlow, or under 1.5. You do under 2.5 Shep, and you do under whatever the under is for Martian Tybura Sergey, because they're probably not going over. If it's 1.5, I would go over just because, you know, they can see 3 rounds. I just don't know about 5. That's all I got for you guys. Some fighters to watch this weekend. If you don't know, now you know. Probably Danny Barlow, probably Shep, and probably probably Chelsea Chandler, but I'm not going to say too much about her just because she did miss weight. She might come in really fucked up. Yana is moving up in weight, so this is going to be a very interesting fight. That's all I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. I will be streaming the card later today at around 5 p.m. when it starts. I will be doing a full commentary for that card, and I will be able to stay there till it finishes, and I believe there's some boxing after that we might pick up on. Other than that, guys, that's all I got for you. UFC Fight Night, Tybura versus Spivac. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you later. Peace.